Hello and welcome back, Good Game Nation, where we bring you everything TCG. My name is Sam, and here with Preston. Preston, say hello.
Hello, Internet. How are you all doing?
They're doing good.
They're not. Sam, they're not here.
Yeah. I can speak. I'm on the internet. I'm on the internet. I can speak to that. We're good. Before we get into today's match, we wanted to plug our newest post on our community tab. Which deck list do you guys want to see next? We're thinking Zoro, but let us know down below. Let's get right into the match. We didn't pull these decks from anywhere. We quickly built them ourselves. You guys voted for it. You wanted to see Sanji versus Whitebeard. I'm going to pilot Sanji today, and Preston's going to play Whitebeard. Let us know down in the comments right now. Go right now. Pause it. Let us know who you think's going to win. What do you think, Preston? Who do you think's going to win today? It's been a while since we played.
Every turn I lose a life, so it's already looking bad for me.
Yeah, you do start 2 life up on me with 1,000 power, though. I don't think this matchup's actually in my favor, to be fair.
There's just the obvious skill gap that will be evident.
I don't think that's a thing, but we're gonna find out. It's the first match of the first match of the year, though. I'm pretty excited. Set 2, we haven't played much of either.
We haven't. We've been focusing back on set 1 since it's out here and we can do stuff.
Nope. And we're playing set 2 while set 3 is already being shown, coming to Eastern soon. What is your thoughts so far on set 3? There's been so many cool things. Big Mom has been fun. A lot of cool leaders.
I'm super excited. I think this is the set they're pulling the shenanigans in. I think everything up to this point has been very calm and simple and easy to understand, good entry level stuff. And now we're getting the crazy stuff. We're getting a mill deck from Nami. We're getting life recovery from Big Mom, which is going to be crazy.
I agree. And I like seeing, we're seeing a little bit of Nami finally. We're finally starting to see a little bit of blue cards. Spoiler for news. But we're starting to see a little more of the mill deck as well. And it seems like that's going to be an interesting counter maybe for yellow.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a really great counter for yellow to see, is the blue stuff going to be fast enough to actually hold up to what yellow can do? Because yellow is going to be potentially very stally, but if Nami can just deck herself out beforehand, then it doesn't matter if you have more life at the end of the game if you win on a special condition anyways. So it's very cool to see.
Yeah, I'm really into that special win condition. There could be a lot of other options for it. We saw the iceberg leader. I don't think anyone going into set 3 would have expected an iceberg leader or what that effect would have looked like. And yeah, I'm really excited to see some of those cards soon too.
Absolutely. Super excited to see how that turns out, just because it's so different. Rough. Okay.
No idea how you play this.
But yeah, I think it's going to be super interesting to see what they pull out with the purple on this set, because all of the supporting cards have to be great or the leader effect really holds you back. Like a lot.
It's pretty exciting though. If you had to say which leader you're most excited for right now, would you say it is Nami? That's what our community post says. They're very in favor of Nami right now.
100% Nami.
Oh.
Full force into that blue deck. Being blue already makes it super disgusting.
Yeah.
It's going to be potentially, if you play, depending on what set 3 stuff comes out, you could play Peep in it. Yep. You can play all of the control stuff that's already out that's doing well in Dofi. You can play
God, could you imagine seeing that in an Nami deck? That would be so frustrating.
Just having Peep allows you to control what you mill and what you draw to an extent. we're already seeing cards that are out of the range of the peep range anyways, so it might not be that way, but um, it could be very painful for other players to play against blue. Blue's already been good. Blue's good in set 2, blue's good in set 1.
Yep.
So just giving it more cool shit, oh god, it has to be frustrating to be someone that likes red, that likes the characters that are being portrayed in red decks,
Right.
or
purple. God,
or
poor
purple.
purple.
Yeah,
That's my fear about Iceberg a little bit is purple just had this really awkward second set where it didn't really build on anything, and then they're getting something completely new that's not going to build on anything, while green has had 3 sets of Wano, and it's just going to continue to get better. It's I have to imagine it's slightly frustrating for people that are really into, those other archetypes. But I mean, set 2 is coming out for the West soon as well. I'm really excited to see what the West is going to do with set 2. I think there's a lot of opportunity for more slower decks to be advantageous.
mm-hmm.
This man's thinking right now. He's got his thinking face.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what combination of things actually gets through this turn.
He's cooking right now. When I saw set 2, as someone that plays slower decks, like I'm very much into Dofi. I'm very much into tempo-y, slower style decks. And Z was a leader that jumped out to me immediately. We read him and we saw the color potential. We were like, wow, this seems like the most end game combo I've seen in this game so far. And I think the Western is going to love playing Z.
Yeah, I think black's going to be extremely strong in the West. I think that they'll dip into whatever the last deck that does well in the East right before set 2 comes out, and then put a tweak on it so that they can play more aggressively and play more consistently, and just take the knowledge that Japan and the East passes by and use that to make it even better. We probably will still get early red Zoro.
Oh yeah.
But I do think black and Z is going to be super scary.
I'm excited. Definitely want to play a little smoker.
Yeah. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this takes. But I have to do.
Yeah.
So 3.
With Zoro being very popular right now, I know Zoro's trending down for set 1, and it was trending up because of the hype of set 2. And I know Kinemon is just running all of set 2 hype right now with like a little bit of a Bonk and a little bit of Kid. I wonder how that'll look here in the West. I just can't imagine Dofi still not being a problem in the West. The same thing with Z.
I can't imagine Dofi falling off in set 2. But the blue set 2 stuff is, I think, better than the blue set 1 stuff.
I think you just play the set 2 stuff with Dofi.
That's true. You could do that. Let's try this.
Uh-oh. Well, that kind of sucks. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I see what's happening. I think I ditched the boy here. I'm pretty sure that's what Sanji would do. I'm pretty sure he would ditch Zoro any chance he got. I'm gonna play. He must hate that right now.
Okay.
Didn't like that at all. Well then.
Gotta try everything I can.
Yeah.
But yeah, set 2 is interesting. We're seeing it full swing in Japan, and they're really putting a lot in the stock of tournaments in Japan right now. We had like 2 or 3 big tournaments in December, and I believe we have 1 or 2 left before their the championship. So set 1 we had maybe 2,
Right.
maybe 2, and now we're getting like 4 or 5, possibly 6 for set 2. So they're really throwing a lot of stock into set 2, and we're seeing play get much more complicated in set 2, to the point where you're not getting the same winners every time. We saw Kinemon and Kid and Ivank all do really well, and that's 3 different leaders do well, which is super exciting to see.
Yeah.
When set 1 felt like it was Kaido or Luffy or Kaido or Zoro, which is, I guess, 3 leaders, but it was too red. It was just set 1 was boring in the East when it came to big tournaments because Purple ended up accelerating super fast with Film, and I think the same thing's going to happen in the West when Film comes. And unfortunately, or fortunately for people, Film is currently slated to not be legal in the Treasure Cup that's coming up.
Correct, yeah. Do you have a trigger effect?
No, it just says waiting for you.
It does?
You killed Zoro.
It says end turn for me. What do I have clicked?
Intern should be like just this waiting for you to do anything else. So you should be able to do anything.
I can't do anything.
Weird.
Your things can't do anything either?
It says waiting for you.
I give you your trash. Oh, that's so weird. We're back.
All right. Cool.
I clicked on enough things and it worked.
There we go.
Yeah, I like that take. It's just set 1 it felt like it was a lot of Kid. Like I know when we were doing in the meta, we saw lots of decks. Like it was just, like literally just Kid. And we're not gonna have, like, especially right now, best of ones. I don't want to play Kaido. Like I feel like that format really does Kaido ill justice. Especially since if you don't just draw Onigashima, you kind of just lose the game. So I definitely can. I'm just gonna do this really quick. Send that boy at that guy. Yeah, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, and that's another thing is like Kid ran with it, and now Green's running with set 2, and it's. I think that set 3 really is gonna blow options off the board, like to an extent that's not quite well understood yet.
It also depends what Green looks like. We haven't seen much of it. I know people aren't too hot on Kuro, and I can see the complaints. They're not complaints, but it's just too similar to Kid, where Kid is just still has the better effect. And it doesn't seem like they're catering away, right? We're still in the Wano arc in the anime. They're going to still want to promote it. That's still marketing. It's still, it's still a business. So we're going to continue to get Wano cards for Green. And that deck's going to just keep getting 1 or 2 cards, and it's going to keep getting slightly better and better. They didn't do that with Purple. They could have kept releasing different Kaido sets and kept promoting it that way. But the money cards, the money characters are not the villains of this arc. It's these side characters that we spent so much time with. So, and I think we're seeing that demotion in Purple, right? Like Purple has been almost non-existent in set 2. All the tournaments have been very little Kaido, very, very little Kaido. And when they're playing set 2 stuff, it's Hell's Judgment and a couple of Magellans. That's literally it. And set 3 is not going to build on that. It's looking like it's going to make a whole new thing. Those are things that really deter these colors, and while other colors rise and they keep falling, it's going to be very hard for them to come back and until we either have like a power creep set, or I actually don't know what Purple looks like in set 3. It's going to be tough, I think. Because they're also not going to have that many cards, right? It's only going to be maybe 14 cards per color-ish. Maybe less.
Yeah, I think it might be less because they're adding yellow. I think set 4 will have to boost the card count.
Hopefully set 3 does that. Yeah, because right now it's looking rougher and rougher for these struggling colors, because Green's going to add 3 more Wano cards, like a bare minimum. That's just 3 more options. Red's going to get a couple more straws. Blue doesn't rely on these traits. They just have good cards, so Yeah, it's kind of tough. What's this turn look like for you? Just, what's going through your mind right now?
So I don't have a good attacking board right now.
Makes sense.
I have 8 Dawn.
You do.
2 will have to go to Mask to
Sure.
attack, but just to even swing towards later, he needs to.
Right.
To get his effect off, I need to minus Nami by 3k, which is pretty difficult.
Yep. Could jet pistol it away.
If I had jet pistol, I could jet pistol it away.
Haha, free information. I did it.
Yeah.
It's actually the reason I was scared to play Zoro. I was like, I'm just gonna get jet pistol away. I don't really want to play this card.
So if I put 2 on Mask to get an attack off, that puts me at 6 Dawn open. Which gives me a couple plays to be aggressive this turn.
Sure.
Which I think I go...
I just realized Sanji just murdered Tony. That's kind of a...
Yeah.
Oopsie. Yeah, I'm gonna...
Keep that.
I'm gonna make you spend something to get rid of her. Aha. Yeah. Huh. What everybody's thinking. You know, we mostly cover One Piece, but we've played a handful of other TCGs, you know, and I really enjoy that One Piece has really kept a lot of the character similarities into their cards. I think that's probably one of the cooler things that's been this to other anime games that we have played. You know, thinking about that, like, what is another game that you think could have really benefited of having that kind of card to character relationship?
Not super sure.
It's a loaded question, I think, too.
Yeah, and like Dragon Ball at some point, and even this game at some point is gonna have to stray away from it.
Sure.
To be able to just be relevant.
Sure. I still think we can see it in different ways. Like, I know the Nami discard effect doesn't make sense for her to win the game, but I like that she has an alternative way to win, right? Like, she doesn't fight combat wise, so she needs a sneakier. Like, it would be ideal to have that kind of mechanic for an Usopp leader or a Tony leader, if that ever when that comes to fruition. And I think I'm trying to think of other games, anime games we've played. We played Dragon Ball more recently. That's a card I have to be aware of. We've played Naruto, which is the one that I'm thinking of reflecting on right now, where I feel like they kind of just produce cards with effects. Like, a lot of the more powerful cards just randomness. Like, we were playing, there was this Baki that was absolutely ruthless, and Baki was in like 2 episodes. Random. And, you know, the characters that appear here are good representations of, you know, how often we see them versus, you know, what they do.
Yeah, and like you were saying, it's good to see that they care enough to make the characters be significant to their character traits. Like, their card is significant.
Yeah.
When they don't have to. Like, Bandai could do what Dragon Ball does and just put out cards. I think, at least that's how I feel Dragon Ball Super is just build cards and put characters on it. And I think it was a little bit different, like the Saiyan arc in early set 2, I think, was at least like similar.
Sure.
But like they worked together, and it was an archetype based around the Saiyan race.
Sure.
But I feel like most things, like, there was no reason for Cell to be hand reduction, in my opinion. It didn't flow like Whitebeard losing life every turn. It didn't flow like uh, the rest of One Piece feels like to me. Like Zoro having Rush in set one is, I feel, funny because of early Zoro stuff where he just
Yeah.
runs off and gets lost, and and then the other side of Zoro being like head empty, go in and attack. At least that's how I feel like the character is most of the time. Is I'm here to protect Luffy. I'm here to be his guy. So I go in and I attack first. It makes sense. Luffy being head empty rush makes sense. Um, Chopper being a blocker kind of makes sense.
I just don't know what else you do with him. Like he has to have like some kind of real. I like what he of the other one in set one. I like that utility type of effect. Blocker's a little weird, but I'm into. Makes sense. Yeah, we're just gonna do. This.
I mean, for a set one card, it's great. I think.
Right.
For him to be blocker. I don't know. Like even Robin having an interesting effect is kind of her being a good card is totally a reflection of her character for like the first half of her arc in on the crew on the Straw Hats.
Right.
She was so overpowered, so overpowered when she showed up, like disgustingly overpowered.
It's funny. It's hitting me right now what you said about Dragon Ball with Cell being really weird. But the Cell character card was really character accurate. I really liked that you had to attach the other androids under him to for have the opportunity to scale up quicker. Like that was really cool. Like they did have some good ones, but some of the ones were just like really silly.
Well, it makes sense that the archetype would be add androids to Cell to make him perfect form.
Sure.
But his effect of reducing cards in hand doesn't make any sense. Like parasitic, yeah, sure, but I don't know. I think the flow of leaders in One Piece just feel more cohesive to the character. The character cards, for the most part in set one, are very cohesive to the characters. Yeah.
True.
So it's a 3K. That's this. 3 cards in hand.
It's a crucial turn, I think, for you.
Yeah, last turn was too. I felt like last turn I needed to go more my way, and it hasn't. It didn't. So that stinks.
That stinks.
Trying to pull the minus power stuff has left me with a stale board, but also not a strong hand either. That's a move. That's a move. Doesn't deal with the problem though. That's a move.
You know, they announced that they were doing that their own version of USF, including their own different animes into a singular game. They teased was it My Hero? They teased Hunter x Hunter. I think it was JJK, and there was one other one. I'm not gonna look it up. I don't remember, but they were teasing a bunch of different animes to go into a singular game. Is there another anime you think would do really well in a game, and like which one would you want to see? And would you be open to playing it? I know you're really into One Piece because we're very much into the manga / anime. That's 90% of the appeal of the game, I think. And but I'm curious, like, do you think there's another anime that could get you to play like another game? Like we've played very few, so I'm just curious if there was another one. Like if a Bleach game dropped, like would you be in? Oh, Bleach was the other one. That was the fourth one.
Yeah, that game looks interesting just because it's going to be all the different properties that they can acquire to make the game interesting. I think it would be interesting to have a Marvel Snap style One Punch Man game. and that I would play a digital version. But for physical card games, I don't know. Even the like other Bandai game that they announced, I'm not sure if I will even look at it. Just because I want to spend all my money on One Piece, which is a problem.
You know, I can imagine that being an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. That's a card.
That's an option.
Huh.
I mean,
His wife is calling him. Mm-mm-mm. She heard the word spent all his money on One Piece and it's not looking good.
time to give the baby a bath. Gotta lose this game, guys.
Timer's running. The clock. We got to do speed chess from now on, like the little clocks.
Let's see.
Blitz chess. I know I'm gonna hear it. Yeah. Yeah, I totally played Tony and totally forgot Nico was on the board. That was a funny mistake.
I think that's a glitch also. I don't think it should be 7K.
Who's 7K?
It's showing Nico at 7. Is it showing it lower for you?
No, it says regular for me.
Okay. It should be 5.
Are you attacking someone?
Yeah.
There you go. There we go. I see 5.
Okay, cool. For some reason it was showing 7. I was like, that's not right. It was getting the Moby Moby Dick boost on my end. 7 left.
This game's gonna get interesting.
No, I don't think I got it.
I might just have too much on the board.
Yeah, I needed to clear stuff last turn and you didn't let me.
Jet pistol.
Yeah.
That's a bummer. I was wondering why you didn't attack that guy.
Let's see.
I feel like he's big enough. Why would you do that?
It shouldn't.
Oh, we're gonna kill that guy.
If you have to. Oh, I misread it. I thought the Moby didn't affect leader for a second, so I boosted him so that he would get over. But this works too. He would have been 8, so you could have comboed it. You could have countered out still. He's a blocker.
Yeah, that's really funny to me.
You missed that. When you focus on so much, you miss things. I think this was okay. I probably still lose. Yeah. With the cards given, I don't think I had any other plays. Yeah.
You know,
But you
I'm
don't
gonna
rush.
I'm gonna go for it just cause sake of you not getting murdered by your wife, so we can continue to make YouTube videos. Yeah, we're just gonna say YOLO cause it's funny this way.
Yeah, no, you didn't even need to do that.
Oh, we're doing it anyway cause
You had 2 attacks on board. I couldn't get over 2 attacks.
even with one blocker.
Correct.
No shot. That was what's happening. Oh
Yeah.
wow, that's how that ends. That's kind of anticlimactic.
Yeah, I had Ace, Seaquake, and Luffy in hand. But I couldn't clear a board the turn before, so I couldn't do what I wanted to that turn. The deck my deck that I was trying to build in this is trying to hit minus power to KO stuff. So I had a lot of, like I played the Brook that minuses power from set 1. I was playing Seaquakes so that I could KO stuff that was low.
Yeah.
But I think I went too down the middle and I didn't lean into one side or the other. A lot of the Whitebeard pirate, the Edward Newgate decks that I was looking at were either Edward Newgate leader with all Straw Hats, or Edward Newgate leader with all Whitebeards. But I didn't think the Whitebeard side was cohesive enough just to throw Otama with Jozu and Marco. Like, it didn't feel like it would be forward. So I tried to find a middle ground where it would be a lot of KOs off of minus power, but I didn't see enough of the minus power. Only having Otama, and then Otama just sat on the board and couldn't do anything. I didn't have any way to, like, I could have attacked with her so that you would KO her, but you wouldn't have.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have targeted her because she was just like clogging up space. I also didn't have too many turns where I could have played over the top of her, so that didn't help either. I think the only turn I could have played a little bit differently was the Nico turn. I might have been able to play the Luffy. I'll have to watch the tape. The 5-drop Luffy to get him on board. But you were defending the character cards too heavily, and I couldn't not attack into characters because I was losing life already.
And the Nami was giving me a lot of resources.
Yes, exactly.
I think I pulled 3 cards off of her.
Yeah, that on attack also is really painful. So just not pulling resources fast enough, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a decent opening hand. It was Nami, Otama, Chopper.
Yeah.
Which made me feel like I had a good early game. I pulled Zoro off of the Nami, so I felt like I was doing good. It just didn't pick up speed fast enough to get over the big cards that...
And Sanji has a lot of speed, and that was kind of the only out I really had. I feel like the power of your leader was going to be a huge deficit to my 4-life leader. But I feel like I just drew into things really well. Like, I drew into that Mihawk, I drew into the other Mihawk, and
you had a decent counter in hand.
It's all that's kind of where I just built the deck around, just like make sure everything just has decent counter power, or it's just a good card. Just throw all the film stuff in one deck and just see what happens. And Sanji can parlay pretty well, I think.
Yeah, you were able to counter out of all my attacks, which was the hardest part. And then I ended up with 3 cards without counter in my hand.
Yes.
So
Sam starts 1-0 in the new year.
There it is. Told you, skill gap.
It was the Straw Hat difference, I'll be honest. Well, guys, if you made it this far, thank you. Please do all the YouTube things, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think of the decks. I will post them down there to give you a rough plan for when the set 2 comes out. But thank you guys so much for watching. You guys have a good one.
Later.